Yo, guys, is the AI revolution a scam? For the past 6 months, I've been watching this growing doubt in this AI revolution, the fact that we've already hit the singularity, right? And it seems like it's gotten to the point where not even these tech companies can hide it anymore, man. And I got another article after this breaking down exactly what I think is going on from like a larger overview perspective, right? Google CEO, AI development is finally slowing down. The low-hanging fruit is gone. Generative artificial intelligence probably won't change your life in 2025, at least not more than it already has, according to Google CEO Sundar Pichai. When OpenAI launched ChatGPT 2 years ago, generative AI quickly captured the imagination of users all around the world. Now, with the industry's competitive landscape somewhat established, multiple big tech companies, including Google, have competing models. It'll take time for another technological breakthrough to shock the AI industry into hyperspeed development again. But I thought AGI was right around the corner. Pichai said at the New York Times Dealbook Summit last week, "I think progress is going to get harder. When I look at 2025, the low-hanging fruit is gone," Pichai added. "The hill is steeper. You're definitely going to need deeper breakthroughs as we get to the next stage. Current language models like ChatGPT, Google's Gemini, or Meta's Llama will keep getting incrementally better, particularly at reasoning, completing a sequence of actions more reliably. Those improvements could help push AI closer to generating profits for corporate users, which isn't happening yet, despite investments that are expected to pass $1 trillion in the coming years, according to recent Goldman Sachs." Okay, but here's the main thing, okay? We're going to need deeper breakthroughs, okay? And what a lot of people don't understand about AI, right, is AI is not artificial intelligence. What they're referring to is algorithmic intelligence at our current stage, right? What you interact with when you think you're talking to an AI bot, right, or these chat bots on YouTube or whatever, right? What you're dealing with is not an AI system. You're dealing with an LLM, a language learning model, right? And so it's not the same as an AI, okay? An AI, in the traditional reference, as we know culturally for like the past 60 years, right? When we're talking about 2001, A Space Odyssey, right? That AI is AGI, right? Artificial General Intelligence, okay? And so, let me explain to you the architecture of an LLM and how that works, okay? An LLM is essentially an operating system, like a Unix operating system that's got a whole series of tools that are designed to interact with an established database that has been manually created and established by human hands, okay? And those human hands, once they create that database, they take that AI system, that LLM, and they use machine learning systems to train that LLM and guide the training of that LLM on those machine learning systems using a reward-based program, right? Using a reward-based system, okay? That rewards it for being correct and punishes it for being incorrect. Carrot and stick approach, right? And so the idea is that these LLMs will train on this data, learn this data, become an expert on this curated data, and then you can interact with the LLM, and the LLM can speak to you in a way that is designed to pass a Turing test while also pulling off this massive database that it's been machine learned to approach and be able to use reasoning against and communicate to you, right? But the difference between that and an AGI is learning on its own, right? And so what that means is, in order for an LLM to become an AGI, it not only has to be able to speak to you and pass a Turing test just like the LLMs do, it not only has to have a database to draw from just like the LLMs have, it has to be able to populate and create that database on its own. And then on top of that, it has to be able to go through a constant revising framework of, as it's building that database, it's training itself on the growing database that it's building using an algorithm, a machine learning algorithm that it produced on its own. So we don't have right now any sort of AI system that can go and create its own database, even to put itself through a machine learning process that we created the algorithm for. We don't have an AI system that can create a machine learning algorithm to then train itself on. So, and we have hit a wall in our development in this industry on achieving these kinds of systems. And we've hit a wall technologically on architecturally how we can even begin to approach this. So one of the best things, one of the things that we're actually doing really well right now is working on developing simulated endocrine systems for AI systems. But that's even farther right now than working on AGI or the types of systems that are able to actually be like 2001: A Space Odyssey. So that is fundamentally why they've hit a wall. That's fundamentally why you see him say we're going to need deeper breakthroughs, because they're going to need breakthroughs that involve having a system that can train itself and build a training database for itself in order to have AGI. That's what he means by deeper breakthroughs when you see that. All right. So I wanted to explain that, because a lot of people, it's like the cloud, right? Oh, they hear the cloud and they hear AI and they don't think like, oh man, we're going to have robots soon. No, we're not. Even Elon Musk, the robots that he unveiled were being operated with remotes by people. So no, this stuff is a giant scam. The whole AI industry, as you know it, and what we've been promised, is a giant scam. And quite honestly, I'm glad because, I mean, have you guys ever seen Dune? AI was like their downfall and they gave it up, so anyway, current language models, ChatGPT, are getting incrementally better, particularly at reasoning. Those improvements could help push AI closer to generating profits, which hasn't happened yet. Another seismic shift that changes the way most people think or envision AI is unlikely to happen within the next year. Exactly what we were talking about a second ago. Some tech CEOs like Microsoft's Satya Nadella agree with Pichai. 70 years of industrial revolution. There wasn't much industry growth and then it took off. It's never going to be linear. That's not true. That is a misframing, but I get it. You're a CEO of a tech company and you need to continue to sell yourself. It's never going to be linear he said at the Fast Company Innovation Festival in 2024. So he's talking to investors. No, man, the entire industrial revolution was built off of incredible profits and people figuring out how to operate at scale like never seen before. No. What a framing device they're using to try to continue to scam rich people out of their money, man. Others disagree, at least publicly. OpenAI's CEO Sam Altman, for example, posted there is no wall on... Right. As demonstrated by your complete lack of progress recently, and the fact that for a 34 reduction in errors, people need to pay $200 a month. How much R&D are you trying to make up for that 34% reduction in errors, bro? On a social media platform, X, in November, a response to reports that the recently released ChatGPT 4 was only moderately better than previously models, and that's measurable. AI's progress isn't exactly walled off, Pichai said. Even if incremental development will help hone the technology, making it increasingly more useful for a wider swath of people, some industry jobs that don't require college degrees can pay well. On average, AI trainers make more than $64,000 per year, and prompt engineers make more than $110,000 per year. I think 10 years from now, computer programming will be accessible to millions more people, but prompt generation is not computer programming. Okay, so that's not the same thing. As someone who was writing, who's been a little script kiddie since I was 11 years old, it's not the same thing, bro. Come on, man. I don't even think they want you to say that. Yo, anyway. Dude, so I thought this was real interesting. This came out this June or July from Fortune AI, right? And I read this and I thought it was real interesting at the time. And it seems like it's only been proven more and more correct as the months have passed. And so it was real interesting to have this in my head when I saw this headline and kind of connect the two here, as the CEOs are finally having to admit and build a narrative around why things are slowing down so much, man. AI is effectively useless, and it created a fake it till you make it bubble that could end in disaster. Veteran market watcher warns there is no avoiding the hype surrounding AI these days. Let's see if we can get past this. Not everyone has been blown away by the AI fanfare. However, James Ferguson, founding partner of the UK-based macroeconomic research firm Macro Strategy Partnership, fears investors' AI exuberance has created a concentrated market bubble that is reminiscent of the dot-com era. These historically end badly, Ferguson told Bloomberg's Marin Somerset Webb in the latest episode of Marin Talks Money podcast. So anyone who is sort of a bit long in the tooth and has seen this sort of thing before is tempted to believe it'll end badly. And dude, come on, man. It's not looking any different right now. The amount of money that's being blown with no return and no returns in sight, dude, man, come on, bro. The veteran analyst argued that hallucinations large language models, LLMs' tendency to invent facts, sources, and more may prove a more intractable problem than initially anticipated, leading AI to have far fewer viable applications. And that is true, guys. The whole point of AI is it's designed to pass the Turing test. And so it's trying to say what it thinks is most likely to be said, okay? And how it's most likely to be said in the moment. And so it doesn't even realize it's lying. It thinks it's saying what it's being told to say. When you put in a prompt, you are giving it a command. And when it's then pairing that command up to its database, right, of how to interpret that command. And if you tell it to believe something, it's going to believe it. It's a computer. People say that a word calculator is an inappropriate analogy. Word calculator is the perfect analogy when you understand the conceptual difference between words and numbers, okay? Words involve context, right? And words, and so when you have a word calculator, you have a context calculator, right? And so when you are interacting with a LLM, it is essentially a context calculator. The entire time it's interacting with you, it's calculating the context of what you're saying, right? That's really what's going on. AI still remains, I would argue, completely unproven, and fake it till you make it may work in Silicon Valley, but for the rest of us, I think once bitten, twice shy may be more once bitten twice shy may be more appropriate for AI. That's a weirdly worded sentence, man. If AI cannot be trusted, then AI is effectively, in my mind, useless, and that's absolutely true. Ferguson also noted AI may end up being too energy hungry and cost effective tool for many businesses. To his point, a recent study from the Amsterdam School of Business Economics found that AI applications alone could use as much power as the Netherlands in 2027. Forget NVIDIA charging more and more for its chips. You have to pay more and more to run those chips on your servers. And therefore, you end up with something that's very expensive and has yet to prove anywhere really outside some narrow application use case that justifies anyone paying for this. For investors, particularly those leaning into AI enthusiasm, Ferguson warned that the excessive tech hype based on questionable promises is very similar to the period of the dot-com crash. He noted that during both of those periods, market returns were concentrated in tech stocks that traded based on Wall Street's sky-high earnings and growth estimates. But despite those lofty forecasts, the dominant hardware giants of the dot-com era, Cisco and Intel, have largely disappointed investors ever since. Ferguson argued today's AI hardware hero NVIDIA might experience a similar fate, particularly given its elevated valuation. While multiple of sales is NVIDIA a good deal on if you think that it might only have, no matter how stratospheric the growth rate at any moment, if you think that it's probably not going to be a player in a decade's time, he asked, implying that NVIDIA might not be worth the current price tag of nearly 40 times sales investors are paying. Yo, man, the way that they wrote that down. So he's basically saying NVIDIA's hit its top. Right? And if you're investing in NVIDIA right now, you're a fool. And you know NVIDIA hit its top when he was signing people's, what was it? Didn't he sign someone's breasts with his autograph? Who? That's insane, bro. He's a CEO of a graphics card company, man. You're out of your mind, bro. And the whole reason why the AI narrative was pushed was to keep the economy going, because the economy's been running on tech since the first crypto bubble. So, dude, no, man, they're using these tech narratives. We're getting set up for another 1929 situation. The AI bubble is not what they pretend it is, dude. And despite his arguments that AI tech stocks linked to NVIDIA are highly overvalued, Ferguson admitted that no one can predict when the bubble will end. This dynamic leads many bearish investors to feel compelled to play in the markets even when stocks look pricey, according to the analyst, and that's a great way to get hurt. Absolutely. I mean, it's certainly what was happening during the dot-com bubble. For example, where almost anybody who wasn't a retail punter was looking at these things and saying, well, it can't last. But having said that, if it lasts one more quarter and I'm not playing, I'll lose my job. The good news, according to Ferguson, is that because the current stock market bubble is so concentrated in AI-linked stocks, there's still value out there. Of course, there will be widespread pain for investors if the AI bubble bursts. But after that, Ferguson recommended looking at currently unloved U.S. small cap stocks, which may benefit from interest rate cuts and aren't highly valued. There's a lot of value to be found in the U.S. The trouble is that value is to be found in the good old-fashioned ways, trawling through small caps and looking for businesses that are growing in a good old-fashioned. Never jump on the hype train. Never jump on the hype train. The hype train is built by everybody who already invested, and they're looking to boost their bags. You get what I'm saying? So, but anyway, the AI revolution is fake. I wanted to point this out to you guys. I think it's pretty wild, man. Don't believe these narratives you hear. Don't go spending your money on what the TV tells you to spend your money on, guys. I'll see you on the next segment. I appreciate you.